The Ever Given, which was stuck in the Suez Canal, which I don't think anyone knew how narrow it was until that boat got stuck, right, Daniel?
Well, hell, it's not that narrow. It took 1,300 feet to screw it all up.
It's crazy because when you look at this, and it's a great story, right? So the Suez Canal accounts for 30% of the world's daily shipping container freight. So close to 20,000 vessels passed through that canal last year. Look at Ever Given, got wedged in the canal. I think it was for 6 days, right, Daniel?
Yeah.
And I have a picture up here that I could show you again if you're watching this on our YouTube page, Curzio Research. Please subscribe. And I think they have it over Texas Stadium here, and I could show it how big the boat is. Like, people don't realize how big this thing is in the statistics, but it's kind of crazy when you look at it because it's just the size of it is 1,300 feet, Daniel, which is insane. That's 4 football fields. It weighs 200,000 tons, which is twice as heavy as a space shuttle, and it was carrying 18,300 containers, and this thing was wedged in the canal, which is pretty crazy. But it was a big news story, right?
If this doesn't make you appreciate logistics and how easy it is for consumers to order things from all over the world, nothing will. This is amazing on so many levels. I'm glad. I don't think anybody got hurt, so that's amazing. But you have this huge vessel, it gets stuck. I don't know if the rule is, I don't know if it's actually been released why. I mean, obviously there had to be some human error or technical errors or something to run this giant ship into the side of the canal. But then you think of 6 days is a long time. You ever been on a cruise ship, Frank?
Of course.
Okay. I've only been on one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like getting on an airplane for me. I'm still impressed that, these giant things float and you can get around and do everything on them, forget that you're floating out and, chilling out. Just like an airplane. Every time an airplane takes off, I'm just like, how amazing is this? You just hit the throttle and boom, we go. So when I was looking at this, it gets stuck. Imagine the 24/7 of dredgers, people removing sand and everything underwater. You had backhoes, excavators, tugboats. I don't know if they had to take any containers off the ship, but they were any and all options were on the table. But the idea that under the pressure you're under, getting this unblocked, getting global trade back up to somewhat normal is amazing. And from an investor standpoint, the shipping companies like North American Tankers, ASC is another symbol. They didn't really do anything, Frank. And the crazy thing with that is everybody was just kind of shrugging off, it'll get fixed, some things are delayed. But North American Tanker CEO came out, and I'm not even going to try to butcher his name, but he was saying, hey, they came out, well, man, these are going to cause shipping rates to rise and all that kind of stuff. It felt a little bit like, hey, get our stock up higher. Not saying he was manipulative. I'm just simply saying he's a good cheerleader for his own company. But the shipping companies didn't really move. So that'll be something to really watch going forward because everything is delayed at least a couple weeks now. And think of the chaos when everybody starts getting to ports at the same time now.
You're right. It does show how important the global supply chain is and how everything works. For those, a couple more stats here. I'm like a history guy. I didn't know this. The Suez Canal, it first opened in 1869. It's incredible. So 2015 it was expanded. It's 120 miles long, only 205 meters wide. So what is that, 600-700 feet?
Well, and let's help them out real quick because when you're looking at do you have an overview picture? Because if you don't take that route, you got to go around Africa.
Yeah, I don't have that. Yeah.
I mean,
you had no
the
choice.
time in
So if
half
you're on the route,
or more.
you had no choice. And the amount of money it would cost in fuel and stuff, it just wasn't worth it. And I thought they would get it out of there in 2-3 days, and it took 6 days. But the reason why I'm bringing this up, it's a fantastic story. It's fun. I'm giving you stats. It's great. It's everywhere. It's disrupting global trade. It's awesome. But I want to try to teach you guys when you look at news here, and Dan will agree with this, is you have to look at it from an investment perspective. How do I make money off of this? Who benefits? Who doesn't? I mean, stats show that the canal generates around $15 million per day. Okay, so that's someone's going to be losing money over those 6 days. Is this something that's going to impact the markets long term? No, it's temporary. So if you're seeing adjustments or stocks come down from this, they're probably good buys. And that's why I find some of my biggest buys where a company misses a quarter and they say, you know what? Some of our orders got delayed till next quarter. Just like with COVID. Well, we still have these people on the books, but, they delayed their orders just to see what's going on and cut their CapEx. But once this comes back, this stock is going to take off and they're going to blow out the numbers next time. And a lot of times when they miss that quarter and they'll report their guidance a little light to be safe, you'll see the stock fall 10, 15, 20%. It turns out to be a great buying opportunity because really, for anyone that runs a business, not everything goes smoothly. You're going to have delays. You're going to have some months that are good, some months that are great, some months that are terrible. But overall, if your thesis is still intact, you want to be able to buy these things. Now, we're looking at the shippers, like you said, with day rates. Day rates, you probably look at them going higher. I think they briefly went higher and came down. Again, we're talking 6 days here. But I think there's a big focus, Daniel, from investment opportunity when you look at the companies behind the data, the analytics, and how they keep track of everything. And I think it puts even more emphasis on them because everyone was looking at them to see when everything, because no matter what you ordered, right? If you order golf clubs, if you order furniture, anything that's built over, it's delayed. It's delayed right now because it's not just that boat. It was hundreds of them behind them that was stuck in behind them waiting for this thing to clear up. But you look at Rockwell Automation, Parker Hannifin, Eaton, Emerson Electric, PDC, these are companies that track the data. They use automation to improve supply chains. For me, I think that's an area that's going to get a lot of focus now because people are going to use them even more because the statistics are so amazing. And also what you brought up, which I thought was incredible, because not only does it impact commodities and prices, because a lot of oil, crude, LNG, whatever ships through there. And again, you're going to see temporary delays here and there. So, there's more of a trading opportunity than a long-term investment. But you brought up the insurance part of it, right? The insurance claims.
Yeah, I was reading, our joke here is, we get the Wall Street Journal about every other day now on a regular basis, Frank. Even though you pay for it every day, it only comes about once every other day.
Yeah, it does. Whatever. It depends what time the guy wakes up. It not even wakes up. He doesn't even deliver it, right? It's like sometimes it's there. I'm like, I don't even know if I still have a subscription. I do digital anyway, but the paper
I know, but that's the funny thing. Like most mornings I get here, and it's a good pattern. There's a paper waiting on me, and every other day now. But Wall Street Journal had a great article about at least or over $3 billion in insurance claims are going to come through delays, perishable items that are no longer good, meeting delivery times, and all that kind of stuff. So, man, you talk about. It's not going to affect anybody drastically. I mean, that's a lot of money, but just the headaches that it just shows you how everything's intertwined. And man, the headaches, I would not want to be dealing with the claims on that issue and being the middleman or woman with pissed off customers on one end and angry people trying to book more shipping on the other. So best of luck to them.
Yeah, and again, guys, you want to look at even everything that you're reading in the Wall Street Journal. If it's something that has to do with Boeing and airplanes, and again, Southwest announcing they buy more airplanes. It's not just Boeing, right? Boeing went up on that news, but start looking at the suppliers for Boeing. Who has the biggest access to this? Who has biggest access? Because I've done this research, and we did well on a company called Ducommun, which very few people heard of, right? Dan, that recommended. We did well on it. And they're a supplier specifically to their MAX plane. Now, we sold it before it came down because we knew that this is before COVID. This is when, the two crashes happened and, they hold the production and went through this whole entire crazy thing. But there are suppliers. I've been to that site. Which is one of the most remarkable things if you get a chance in Everett, Washington, to see the Boeing facility. It's unbelievable. It's bigger than Singapore. The facility is bigger than Singapore. That's how big it is. Fire department, police department in it. It's unbelievable how big. I can't even explain it. It's an assembly line for massive jets, and there's like 7 or 8 of them that they work on at one time. But there are literally hundreds of nuts and bolt companies. So start looking at those. Just so we're looking at this, and that's how we want to play this.